Hi everyone, this is PW, and I just wanted to go over some basics with you about keying in Final Cut Pro. So make sure that you open the application, and if you have projects open, go ahead and close those libraries. It'll just neaten everything up. Go ahead and create a new library, and name it something appropriate for you. It's good to have your name on your library, but you don't necessarily have to. Once you've created the new library, go ahead and change the name of the event. Click on it once, hit return to open it up, change the name, and hit return to lock it back in. Now go ahead and locate your footage and go ahead and import it. Here I'm just going to import one of the clips at this time, but you could import all three. Then we're going to go ahead and create a new project. Now that you have that new project, go ahead and skim through the video and make sure that your values of the background are as consistent as possible. Ideally, you want to have the green look the same green all the way across. Here you can see there's a couple hot spots where the lamp might be too close or too bright, right on the edges of the screen. This we can take care of. But if it gets to be an exaggerated amount where it's a really bright light green, then it's going to be difficult to key. Now it's also a good idea to adjust your audio at this time. Make sure that your actor or talent is speaking at 0 decibels. And then we want to go ahead and open up the effects palette. You're going to filter the view of effects by choosing keying on the left side. Drag that keyer effect in the right panel over to your clip in the project timeline and drop it on it. In the inspector, locate the effect keyer and click Show if necessary. In the first section, locate and click on the matte view. It looks like a white head on a black background. Your video clip will suddenly look black everywhere there was green screen and white anywhere your subject is. If you see any haziness in your white subject, increase the fill holes slider just slightly. You're going to do this until the gray speckles disappear. And it's really important to make sure that you're only pulling fill holes slightly. The less you can use, the better. Now, once you have your item keyed, we need a background for it. So go ahead and access the Titles and Generators palette by clicking on the Title and Generators button. Select a generator that you feel will look good behind your subject. Drag that generator down below your clip in the timeline and place it. With the generator highlighted in the project timeline, view the inspector window. Here you can change many of the characteristics and settings for the generator. If it's appropriate for your clip, you can add B-roll video or images above the main clip in the project timeline. When you have that B-roll clip or image highlighted, use the Transform tool to resize, rotate, and/or reposition your B-roll to an appropriate location. Now, Final Cut has a lot of really nice graphics, generators, lower thirds, titles, things like that within it. But we can also find even more at Video Blocks, which is a site that we pay for licensed material. You can search newsroom or backgrounds or keyer. You can also search alpha, which typically will pull up alpha channeled items which have transparent factors within them. And you can download those just like regular clips, import them into Final Cut, and you can drop those anywhere within your timeline. Here's a lower third graphic that we can drop on top of our clip and make it appear in front of our subject. Go back to the Title and Generators palette by clicking on the Title and Generators button. Select a title, ideally a lower third, that you feel will look good in front of your subject. Drag the title down above your clip in the timeline and place it. With the title highlighted in the project timeline, View the Inspector window. Here you can change many of the characteristics and settings for the title. You may need to click on the sample words inside the viewer to activate them in the inspector. Remember that it's always better to use a different font than the default one, but choose one that's still easy to read on the screen. Okay, so make sure you have your Keying with Final Cut Pro checkoff sheet, get back to your computer with your partner, and start keying.